Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Friends, I didn't park the truck there to get it in the shot. It just happened. Hold on now. Let's see if we got the audio. I know we always have issues. Check with our other phone. Then we got to get to work, everybody. We got a lot of work to do. Hello, hello. Uh-oh. A lot of work. All right, we're on. Friends, I can't explain it. Sometimes when I'm doing the live streams, the volume, I can't explain it, friends. I don't think it's any sensor thing. It's something to do with my data. I got AT&T, and it's a nightmare like everything. I start getting the robocalls at like 7 in the morning because they sold all the information, everyone. Hold on. All right, so we got a headstone here. Now, this man looks... I don't know if this was a Union soldier. I just don't know, friends. But he was of the time period, 1872 to 19... No, hold on. No. He would have been too young. 60... Yeah. He would have been a child. Friends, this man right here most likely was a veteran of the... maybe the Indian Wars. So, friends, we put the flags out yesterday, but we came back today because we got to clean them. So we're going to remove the flag. And we're going to get to work. Friends, I got the granite gold, but on this one here, we're going to use the D2. The D2, friends. I got the scrub brushes. I got it all. But the first thing is first. You got to soak it down. You got to get the stone nice and wet. So in this cemetery, there's about 110 veterans. And not all the headstones look bad. There's about 30 or 40 that need to be cleaned. And friends, check it out. Once we get this thing to a nice clean state, and we're using D2, it's all safe, it's what the government uses. This thing won't have to be cleaned for like another 20 years. You got to get it real good and wet. This whole thing looks horrible. All right, we're going to put the D2 on it. I got a whole bunch of brushes. Look, friends, I particularly... I'm very fond of the circular brush because it's good to go in little circles around it. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I got the broken one. Yeah. I think first we're going to go with the big scrub. Oh yeah, this one will probably be white by the end of the day. We're going to give them a good scrubbing. Friends, this is algae, this is mold, this is all the things that you get outside. And they just love to grow on these old stones here. I like this one because the bristles are smaller, so it's kind of like harder. So it's good to get into the letters here. This thing came undone last night when I was moving things around my truck, so now it doesn't have the spring that Now, y'all remember what this looked like when we first logged on here, didn't you? Friends, next summer I'm going to have a youth program, and we're literally going to come out and clean headstones. It's going to be really cool. Because we'll be able to teach your children about history, and we'll get a lot of good stuff done in the community. It's completely black on the backside. Hey friends, if you're new to the channel, I need you to subscribe. Wouldn't it be cool if I could get monetized at some point? Then I wouldn't have to beg y'all for donations. I think I need 500 subscribers, and we're almost there, friends. We're like almost near 300. And I think you need like 3,000 hours. That's why we do this every day. We try to get an hour in here, an hour in there. Okay. So this thing looks horrible right now, but we're going to let it sit for a little while. We're going to come back to it, and it's going to be... I think this one's going to be white. But y'all see how it's turning like the rust color? That's good. I'm trying to do a better job of documenting these things, so I'm going to go ahead and take some photos with the other phone. Hold on now. Oh, that looks horrible. But it'll be white. It'll be white here in a minute, friends. It'll be all white. Oh, stinking phone. It's got like... Okay. So we're gonna mosey on to the soldier right now. Okay. All right, so we got this soldier here. Obviously, he was in the First Florida Infantry Spanish-American War. Oh, friends, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it. This thing's going to be completely white when we're done here. We'll do the big reveal here, and you know you got to wait 15 minutes. That's the D2 takes like 15 minutes to really start working. So you want to wet the stone. You want to get the stone nice and wet because it opens up some of the pores in it. Get all the sides. Look, everybody, the goal for this summer, the goal of the ministry for this summer is to clean every veteran's headstone of all periods, all eras in Hillsborough County, you know, that are in these little private cemeteries. Because in the cemeteries that are a little more mainstream, they get taken care of. They get cleaned. I'm not saying this one's forgotten, because this one's definitely not. This cemetery looks really nice. But nobody's out here getting the headstones clean. But that changed because we're out here now. But I don't charge any money for this. I don't do it for the likes or the views. I gotta have something to do, everybody. And I have a ministry, so it's just fitting. And I'm a soldier, man. I'm a combat soldier. This algae old dirt. It's nice and overcast today. I like days like this because the heat don't get to you. But now it's starting to rain. I guess it'll help keep it'll help with the water, right? Friends, we can work in the rain, but we're not going to work if it's lightning, friends. That's a safety violation. So when we do our summer youth program, we're going to make sure we got lightning battle drills for all the young people that are helping us. This one wasn't as bad as the other one, but as you can see, it's already the D2, friends. D2 biological agent. It's a biological solution. It's what you're supposed to use on these headstones. It kills the algae, the mold, just like neutralizes. Working it in. You're working it inside the pores, and friends, believe it or not, this stuff continues to work over time. We'll come back in a week and this thing will be completely white like the day it was put in here. Now this is an old one here. This thing's 1918. This headstone is probably over 100 years old. It's probably never been cleaned like this. Cool. And check it out, friends. If you're a Marine, if you were in the Marines or are currently in a Marine and you're around the Tampa, friends, any Mission Barbecue. Friends, Mission Barbecue is having like an appreciation week. Yesterday was Army, so I got my free sandwich in the truck. I didn't know it. I went ahead and bought my lunch. Friends, I don't ever ask things for free. I don't ever go in a place and say, "Hey, I'm a veteran. Give me my discounts." I'm not like that, and you shouldn't be like that either. Friends, you didn't join the military to get all the freebies. You did it because you wanted to do self-service like what we're doing out here today. And if you're rolling around throwing your veteran status so you can get freebies and 10% off, friends, you're wrong. You better stop that immediately. Because you signed a contract. You should have done your part of the deal. And nowhere in there did it say you're supposed to get 10% off at all your purchases. My friends, over at the Mission Barbecue, especially over there in Brandon, they're doing some kind of appreciation week. And today's for the Marines. So if you're a Marine, get your butt on down there and get your free chow. All right, friends, we're going to let this one. One more little coat, and this thing should be completely white when we're done here. Just kind of massage it in. Uh-oh. You want to get in between all the little engravings. Friends, I'm in Bloomingdale and Brandon. If y'all are off today, come out here, friends. I got my signs out. It's a community work party. All right. So I just got to show y'all. Check out the one over here. It's simmering right now. And when we hose it down here in a moment, that thing will be completely white. So let's continue, friends. We got quite a few of these older ones over here. Oh. Now, friends, when you do this, if there's a nice flag, you want to remove it because you don't want to get any of the yucky. Again, everybody, when you come up to a site, a grave, a veteran's grave, first thing you got to do is check your area. You don't want to be perched down in a fire ant pile. Friends, trust me, I've done it. It ain't fun. I have not been bitten, thank the Lord Jesus. Friends, you want to make the grave stable. Some of these older cemeteries, the graves are not stable. You know, the ground shifted, and I've seen graves where it's exposed, friends, and we don't know what to do. The church, the folks, they don't know what to do. But what we do here is we give it a good washing. You got to hose it down real good, real wet. And look, friends, I went ahead and purchased one of these Roundup. It's like a 4 or 5 gallon. It's what you spray all the weeds with when you're a professional like me. But instead of putting the cancer-causing weed killer, we just fill it up with regular spigot water. Because you got to bring your own water out here. Rarely does any of these places have a well that works or running water. They just... Now, if you go to the nice cemeteries like I'm talking about, they do. That's why their headstones always look nice, because you pay a lot of money. You pay a lot of money to put your family in there, so they stay nice. But again, friends, this cemetery is well maintained. You know, my 7 to 10. This thing's a 9.5, but once we get done cleaning the headstones, it'll be a 10.10 all day long. 10.0. 10.0. So you're just going to dust it over real good and use your little, I particularly like the little circular one. So you're going to scrub, work on it for about 5 minutes and move on to the next one. And then the D2 will continue to work. So when we go back here in a few minutes to the first one, we're going to hose it down. And friends, I feel that thing's going to be completely white. Don't ask me how I know these things. Sometimes they turn white before our eyes. Sometimes it takes like a week. Just depends on how bad the mold and algae set into the pores. But all these are coming off real nice. There's a lot in the top here. So we'll have to leave some on the top to let work over the next week. Friends, if you're watching, I need you to like the video. I need you to subscribe to the channel if you're new. That helps push the algorithms out. And trust me, friends, I need all the help I can get when it comes to YouTube. Again, the nice little one. Oh, friends, I just noticed something. Those Brussels used to be a lot longer, but I've been scrubbing and scrubbing. They're like the right length right now. Miss Linnell gave me this one. You don't use any metal on this. No metal brushes. These are like nylon, plastic. Don't ever use bleach. Bleach can crack the stone. I bet you these have never been cleaned. All right, everybody, we're gonna go back to that first one. I think that thing's about ready to. Okay, hold on. Let's go over here real quick. I got a few more. We'll let it sit for a little longer. So as you can see, we got one we've done. Look at this, friends. That D2 is really going to work on that algae. So we're going to come over here in a moment and hose this one down. And this thing will probably be almost completely white. And same with this one right here. But we got these other ones we got to do as well. Now these aren't too bad because they don't typically get too dirty, but it will look nice. So friends, we're gonna remove the flag. We put these flags out yesterday. You don't want all the don't look too bad. We'll use the granite gold on this one. Friends, granite gold is kitchen safe. You can use it on your kitchen. Food grade is what I meant. You know, I did a lot of research before I had the confidence to come out here and start doing this. The last thing I ever want to do is damage the stone, you know? I mean, my whole point is to bring honor, not come out and make harm, you know? Corporal, United States Marines, Vietnam friends. I got a Vietnam soldier here. And I got another one over here. This one definitely needs a little cleaning. But just look at the granite gold. Look how nice. It just shines it up a little bit. Groovy. Put our little flag back. Dress right. Friends, if you can get it center on the top, that's kind of where it belongs. But sometimes you got gravel, you got rocks, and you just put it wherever you can put it. All right, friend, I got his sergeant over here. This is probably his brother. You know, back in the day, brothers would deploy together. You know, they would join the service together. Oh. All right. Yeah, this one definitely needs to be clean. I might use a little D2 on this one. You see how it's got the algae starting to grow here? Oh my gosh, they just don't make nothing like they used to. Look at this crap. What in the heck? Oh my goodness. This thing literally just broke. Friends, hold on. I can't believe it. Friends, that's why you got to bring extra in your packing list. All right. How the granite gold does, and then if it don't get that little stuff off, we'll use the D2. Friends, D2 is expensive. Throw a donation. Go to the website, grizzlyarmy.com. I could use a couple bucks. I mean, gas is like $4.50 down here in Tampa now. It's ridiculous. You know, as much as things change, they always stay the same. You know, it's always the lower income folks that always get stuck with it. You know, just trying to buy groceries. Friends, our freezer on the fridge stopped working like 2 days ago, but we got a freezer in the garage, thank the Lord Jesus. But nothing's made to last anymore, is what I'm saying. I mean, you literally just saw spray bottles stop working right here on the live stream. And the nice GE, the nicest one they had, stopped working like a couple years ago. I've already had to replace parts in it. And now the freezer won't freeze. All made in Mexico. Yeah, this is we might need a little bit too on this. Let's just see. Yeah, we'll hit a little D2 on it. So the D2 will fizz up real nice on this, and we'll leave it on for 15 minutes or so. And we'll come back and some of this algae should be gone. I hope y'all are having a good Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? Friends, I'm like retired now. You know, I don't really keep track of the days like I used to. When I worked at the federal government in the Department of Veteran Affairs, I could not wait till the weekend. I'd waste all week long just praying that the weekend would get here. And then the weekend would arrive, and then it'd be time to go back to work on Monday. You want to get the fizz inside the engraving, then it'll really start working on the algae in there. Okay. You want to try to get it as center as you can. And we'll come back to this one. We got the D2. You want to leave the D2 on for a moment or two? All right. Friends, my job's easy today because I know where all the veterans are, because yesterday I put all the flags out. Who's writing comments in here? Oh, nice hearts. I love it. I love it. Thank y'all. I told you the goofballs are still in bed. They don't get out of bed till, like around noon. Friends, we're gonna hose this one down. I'm gonna show you what that D2 can do. So this headstone here is a soldier from maybe the Spanish-American War, or maybe he just served, I don't know, it don't say. But he was too young for the Civil War, the War of Southern Independence, Northern Aggression. He would have been a child. I don't know, friends, they had children out there, who knows? Oh, but we're gonna hose it off here. We're gonna see what the D2's done for us. This is the big reveal. This is my favorite part. Let's get the pressure kicked up. Now the D2 turned this thing that nice rusty orange, because what it does is it gets in there and it starts eliminating the mold and the algae, like it kills it. All right, friends, are y'all ready? This is the best part. I might have to scrub it a little bit. Let's do this. Let's get it wet. This thing was like green and black when it found it. And over the next week, we're going to douse it with a little more D2, and it should be completely white in a week. Oh yeah. And not all this marble or granite, not all of it is completely white. Some of it had like the the mixed colors in it. But even if I just left it on, it would have been rusty for a few days, a week, and then it dries, and then it dries all the, it'll dry white. Yeah, this thing, if we spray it and leave it, it'll be white. But I'm looking, it has a lot of the marble. It ain't just a solid white one like some of them. So we'll douse it with D2, we'll work it in, and then we'll call it a day on this one here. And then we come back in a week, this thing should be a lot whiter, because the D2 works over time. So we douse it, work it in, and let it just dry on it. Cool. All right, let's see how we do on the one next door. Oops. All right. becomes a family member, well, hopefully they appreciate what we're doing. So look, you're going to soak it real good. We already got the glue on it. Just like that. Now we're going to scrub some of it off. These are old, so they may take like a week or two to get clean. I guess that lady's never seen a man scrub headstones in a cemetery. I don't know. Maybe the sheriff will come out here and have a chat. Ooh. Friends, look how nice. Again, this one's not going to be completely white. Because the marble, it's kind of like a, I don't know, it's got a little color in it. It looks a lot nicer than it did, that's for sure. All right, move on to the next one down here. Oh yeah, we'll just coat it, let it dry, and then in about a week, it'll continue to work. All right. So look, everybody, that thing looks a lot better than it did. We come back in a week, it'll be completely white. And this one over here had a whole lot of lime and green. So we left the D2 on it, and the D2 will take about a week or two, maybe less, get it looking real nice. Okay. Hold on now. You've never seen anyone clean headstones in England? Well, I tell you what you should do. You should create your own, well, if you have your own YouTube channel, go out there and start cleaning them. You'll probably get 1 million subscribers. People love watching this stuff. I used to watch this all the time before I had the confidence to come out here and do it myself. So it's not soap. What I'm using is, hold on, no, not acid. You don't use acid. Look, it's too easy. You can use soapy water, that works to get the dirt and stuff off. But if you really want to clean the headstones, the white ones, I use D2. I put it in the little spray bottles, but I buy it by the 5-gallon jug. You can buy them by the gallon jug. It's called D2 Biological Solution. It is a biodegradable solution that's safe on all these headstones. It's what the United States government, the Department of Veteran Affairs, it's what the VA uses. You want to, like, so my task is to clean all the veterans headstones here in Florida. I'm over here in Florida, obviously England. We're in the Tampa Bay area, and there's a huge population of veterans here, and there's even more buried out here. So this is like a white granite stone, I would imagine. And the lady that taught me how to do this, she does all the Confederate headstones, but I do all of them, including the Confederate soldiers. So what you want to do is you want to wet it down real good. We already got this one. This thing was green a little while ago, my friend. But don't use bleach. Don't ever use bleach on these. Bleach can get into the pores and crack them. Don't use any acid. Acid can get into the pores and crack it, chip it, deteriorate it. So what you want to use is, it's called D2. Again, I buy it in the jug off Amazon, and then I found a supplier. I bought the 5-gallon jug for like $200. And I put it in these little spray bottles. And all you do is you just you spray it on, you work it in, and then you wait 15 minutes. Because what it does is it's eating the algae. It's a biological, I can't explain what it is, but it kills the algae, and it gets into the pores. Come here, look on the top here. If you can see on the top of this, in the pores of this stone, the algae has set in pretty good. And you can scrub it and you're not going to get it all out. So what the D2 does is it gets into the pores and it basically kills the algae. It just, I don't know, it just neutralizes it. Just goes. So get you a little brush like this, get you a bucket. If you got a little extra money, these are like 60, 70 bucks, but you got to bring your own water with you. You got to wet it real good, real good. And we already did the D2 on this a little while ago. So we're going to hose it down, and we're going to scrub it, and then we're going to hose it again. And then this thing should be pretty white. Oh yeah. Look at that. You know, I go after the veterans because I did 20 years in the Florida Army National Guard, which is a subcomponent of the United States Army. But don't let that fool you. I had to go to Afghanistan twice. I was in Iraq, Kuwait. I retired as an E7. I'm not a real sergeant major. That's just part of the skit. But I do this because it needs to be done, because these men and women have come before us. And that's why we as Americans live in a free society, is because people like this gentleman right here, Grover Cleveland Hutto. This man was a field artilleryman. I was a field artilleryman. I was a forward observer. Look how nice and white that is. But we do this to pay honor, and we did flags yesterday. We put the flags out. And I had to come back today to get some of these headstones cleaned up. But listen, if you're in Britain and you got a bunch of veterans and headstones, start your own channel. I'll subscribe. Trust me, you'll probably have 1 million subscribers. It's too easy. It costs a little money to get going, and then you get monetized, or you get some donations, or you get a church to sponsor you, and then they can start paying for your gas and your D2. This is just one of these things that a lot of communities just stop doing over time, you know? Everybody's on social media like me. Oh, who's calling me? Look, more spam. I got more spam callers. Another computer trying to call me. All right, so that one looks pretty good. All right, let me move down here. I got a Confederate soldier we got to do next. what a journey. So that one turned out real nice, kind of instantly. These other two are going to take a little while. Now this one here, we'll come back in a week and this thing will be completely white. Now look, everybody, a Confederate soldier is an American soldier. I know folks that are watching from other countries, you know, we had a Civil War many years ago, 160 something years ago. And this man right here, Israel Gardner, well, he was a private in Company Alpha, 38 Alabama Infantry, and he was a Confederate States Army soldier. I'll be right back. Friends, if you were logged on yesterday, we were putting out flags, and I did not have the right flag for these soldiers. This is the Confederate States Army. This is their flag. And this right here is the battle flag. And they had the battle flag because when they were having skirmishes, the other flag and the American flag, they look so much alike that soldiers got confused. So if you were like a Confederate soldier and you have to rally around the flag, sometimes these men were running to the wrong flag and then they were POWs or killed. It's amazing when you start learning about history, like true history, not the liberals' version or the government's version. Trick everybody. Friends, remember back when Obama, that horrible Obama and his husband, Big Mike? Remember when they were removing all the statues? Wasn't that horrible? And then the Black Lives Matter. Y'all remember those crooks? Those crooks, friends. They didn't help one black person except themselves. It's a bunch of gay black ladies, and they just took all the money and they bought $1 million homes, mansions, friends. They tricked all y'all. But they didn't trick me. I knew better. Hold on, I'll be right back. So look, friends, since we're here, and when you come out here, you must be drinking water. Try to get some of this dirt out. I don't have my little shovel. But look, friends, we do this care. We do this cemetery care. We don't have to do this for, a while. Very carefully. I don't want to scratch it up. Just trying to get some of this dirt out of here. All right, now let's hose it down. Now this one's going to use some D2 on it. We need to clean the whole thing here. But first we'll do a little granite gold just to get some of the dirt off. It makes it a little easier in my opinion. Friends, I found out recently, well, I always knew this. Y'all know the story. Great-great-great-great-granddaddy James Madison Burgess was my great-great-great-great-granddaddy. And he was a farmer up in Georgia. And the man was also an infantryman with the Georgia 61st. And he fought on the Confederate States Army side of that conflict. So I have the lineage. And I am a part of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I'm a part of that organization because I like the fact that we want to honor all the veterans, including the Confederate soldiers. Because in my opinion, the Confederate States soldiers are the most misunderstood. Look at that, friends. It's already turning rusty. They're the most misunderstood and hated on veterans. And friends, they're still an American veteran, is what I'm trying to explain to you. So that'd be like hating on the D-Day people. I know it's a different conflict. I know there was different reasons for the fighting, but they're still soldiers, friends. Congress recognizes them. And believe it or not, the Confederate Army soldiers were allotted pensions, like in the 1900s. They were allotted pensions by the government. Because my great-great-great-granddaddy, James Madison Burgess, applied for a pension from the government for being a soldier. Now, if he was a traitor or evil, they wouldn't have done that for them. And friends, this headstone right here, this marker is provided by the Department of Veteran Affairs. So I'm just trying to educate y'all, you know. We need to stop hating on everybody, start learning about our history, and come together. That's kind of another point of my little project here. Now, I'm looking, and there's black, but that's a part of the stone. That's not like any mold. But look at this, everybody. It's literally the algae's like being evaporated right in front of us. So the government will provide the government marker, and then the family always maybe does something like this. I'm gonna have to buy another one of these. I'm literally watching the bristles disappear before my eyes. But it's been a good brush. So friends, when we're done here, we're gonna put the right flag where it goes. The Confederate States Army flag. And believe it or not, everybody, I'll go show you here in a minute. There's actually a Southern Cross of Honor over there, and I restored it last month. It's really cool. It looked real nice, too. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 done so far. And we only got like 100 more to go. So this headstone was bumped. Whoever somebody at some point in the mower bumped this thing, moved it. Whereas I've never bumped a headstone, not yet. This thing's heavy. Oh, there we go. Now we put it back. Oh yeah, this one's gonna look real nice. See how the D2 turned it the rust color. Mr. Israel Gardner. All right. Okay. Look how nice. Look how nice that looks. So the black here is part of the marble. That's part of the marble has that design in it. So we'll dust it over one more time because I want the words. The words should be white, the engraving. So we'll foam it up real good. And then we'll let it sit and simmer. Okay. And now, friends, put the nice Confederate flag right there, friends. See how easy that is? All right, let's move. We got a lot more to do. I'm gonna move y'all over here. Let's see. Let me just take a look. Oh, I got another white one over here. White one over here should be completely white. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, let's do this one. So this is a newer one right here. Oh, hold on. Looks like somebody tried to paint it. Oh, no. What did they do? Somebody tried to paint this, friends. What the heck? Who the hell did this? Good Lord Jesus. Friends, y'all see that? Instead of cleaning it, they try to paint it. And they got paintbrush strokes right here. Good grief. Some knuckleheads trying to take it. All right, we'll still clean it. I've never seen anything like that before. It's like somebody tried to paint over. Well, as long as y'all know I didn't do that. Let's see if we can. Let's just see. I don't even know. I don't think that paint's coming off. I don't know, friends. I'm gonna do some research on this. Somebody like destroyed this headstone by trying to paint. And then they paint. I can't explain it. Let's just get to work. I'll get them set. Friends, you don't paint these headstones. They're engraved for a reason. You clean them. You don't paint them. I can't believe somebody did that. I don't think I have my scraper. Good grief. Friends, don't ever let me catch you putting on these things. My Lord Jesus, look at this. Now I can tell this was done a long time ago. All right. You couldn't have just waited 20 years for Sergeant Major Grizzlegrip to come along and get the job done. Friends, that thing's about to not have any more bristles. I've used it too much. I mean, look, I just can't explain it, friends. It's like they tried to paint, they got frustrated, and they put the paint on. If I catch you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't care if you're a family member. I can't believe that. So again, this headstone's not a completely white one. It has some of the marble, I don't know, what do you call it? There's more paint over here. I'm just going to paint it and make it look white again. Friends, maybe D2, I don't know how long it's been around. Maybe they didn't have it back in the day. I mean, it's clearly not vandalism because somebody tried to paint the letters. I think I have my scraper. I had to take my glasses off, friends. I gotta make sure I'm looking at what I'm looking at here. I can't believe somebody painted this. If you're watching, I want a 10-page. You're gonna do a paper on not. You're gonna do a master's level essay. It's gonna be 12-point font. It's gonna be New Roman Times, double spaced. You're going to write me a 10-page paper on the do's and don'ts of cleaning the headstones and why you're not supposed to paint them. I expect it by the end of the week at the Sergeant Major's desk. I can't believe this. Beautiful headstones got some goober's paint all over it. I got paint here. They probably painted the whole thing, everybody. I got paint all over here. D2 don't take paint off. I don't think it does. It's biological. But D3 does. That I ran out. I got paint all over this thing. Good grief. What a way to ruin someone's headstone. Some knucklehead thought they were going to come out here and be clever, and they just wanted to paint it. Look at this. You can really see the paint coming out now. What a goofball. What a stinking goober. All right, friends, let's stop complaining. We got another one over here. World War II. All right, this one shouldn't be too bad. And it'll be nice because we'll get all the engraving in here done. Now, I like these flags. I'm gonna try to get 1,000 of these for next time we do this. I thought I've seen everything until I saw that. All right, again, we're gonna wet it down. Look, friends, if you're new, I need you to subscribe to the channel. I'm subscribers, but I need a little bit more and we get monetized. Friends, gas is like, it'll be $5 a gallon here soon, and then it'll be real hard for me to come out and do these things. because my lawsuit ain't ever going to get done. Government don't care about hostilities towards their employees. If you're a white Christian man like me, they just don't care. They just don't. All right, D2. We're using D2 here. You're going to generously apply it after the stone is nice and wet. You're going to use this one for all the little ones. Get in all the engraving. There's dirt in there, there's algae. My bristles are about done on that one. Oh yeah. Gotta get all that dirt out. World War II, Army Air Force, 357th Base, Headquarters, 3rd, I don't know what AB is, oh, AB Squadron. Friends, this man had something to do with the, probably the bombing of Germany, you know? Army Air Force. That was before the United States. They were the ones doing the B-17s and all the bombings. That was before we had the Air Force. Look how nice. Look at that. Isn't that nice? At least somebody didn't paint this one. Get in all that engraving, get all that dirt out of there. A lot of dirt. And we'll douse it again and then let it sit. Oh goodness, friends, it might be lunchtime for me here. I got my Mission barbecue sandwich from yesterday. Oh yeah, this one's looking real nice. This is one of the easy ones. All right, so we'll douse it, scrub it in again, and we'll let it sit, and then it should look really nice. I gotta buy me a new one of these. The bristles are just about all done. You want it to fizz up in there. That way it'll really get the algae in the engraving. Come back in a week and this thing will look clean, clean, clean. I'm looking for the big, tall, white ones. I know I got some on the other side. Let's come back over here. I can't believe somebody painted this. I'm just blown away. All right, let's see how it looks. You can really see that paint now. I'm about to do some research how to get that paint off. Anybody know how to get paint off marble without damaging it? I mean, I'm sure paint thinner would probably damage it. Mineral spirits, maybe? I'm gonna go paint Grandpa's headstone, make it look all pretty. This thing would have looked really nice if some knucklehead hadn't painted it. I'm sure it's lead paint too. It don't look like latex. Mineral spirits. All right, well, maybe the flag will hide some of the paint. Somebody painted this. I can't believe it. Well, what are you going to do, friends? What are you going to stick with? Yeah, I missed like 10 veterans out here yesterday. We got to come back with some more flags, but hold on, friends. I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, friends, it's like the work never ends. I just found 2 more veterans. Oh, they need a flag. I don't think the headstones look bad. But look at that, friends. Some knucklehead painted that. Friends, if you want to get out here with me, I'm in Brandon. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. I don't really have like a designated time I get to work, kind of like whenever I feel like it. But if I knew some of y'all wanted to come out, I would definitely be here at a specific time. I try to get the children off to school, come home and straighten up the house for my wife, and then I get to work. Okay, yeah, those, all right, let's go look at the Confederate soldier here. So we left the D2 on here for a little while. We're gonna remove the flag again. I don't want the flag getting all nasty. We're gonna wet it down again, and then we're gonna scrub it. Friends, look how all the yellow. That's the algae that's been being lifted out, because the engraving should be white. Friends, I got a fire truck coming by, and I always teach my children, you say a prayer, friends. You could be going to someone you love. Dear Lord Jesus, please be with those first responders as they travel to go rescue somebody or put out a fire, Lord. Please let them have the discernment and the courage to get the job done. And please protect the person that they're going to help, or the folks. In Jesus' holy name, amen. Friends, you never know. They could be going to your family. Your family could have been a victim of a car crash. That's why you got to say these prayers, friends. I pray every day when my wife makes it home from work. It's a miracle down here in Tampa. All right, here we go. The big reveal. It's still got a little bit of that crud in it. We'll come back in a week. This will look real nice. Friends, the D2, it gets absorbed into the pores of the stone. That's what the rust color you're looking at is. We'll come back in like a week, and this should look real nice. There's a lot of crud in here. Friends, you don't ever pressure wash these things. Don't ever let me catch you doing the pressure wash. Friends, this is low pressure. That's why you're supposed to use this. A pressure wash will take part of the stone away, because it's basically like sanding it down. That's like when you do your driveway, you're basically sanding your driveway. So you don't want to ever pressure wash. Okay, friends, we'll be right back. So we'll come back in like a week, and this thing should look real nice, because all the algae will be eaten away by the D2. All right, we're gonna do a couple more, and then I got these other soldiers over here, Confederate soldiers. Now I'm gonna have a lunch break, everybody. All right, old Clyde right here. We'll get a little D2 on Clyde. Oh, yeah. I've seen these type of headstones, and there's some out here that are just completely black. So we'll let it sit for a little while. We'll go back and rinse it. Whew. So friends, not bad. We've been out here about 2 hours give or take, and we got basically this whole section done. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 headstones done. We got a lot more to do. But it's called the labor of love, everybody. You know, when you like what you do, it's not really a job, is it? Hold on, please. You know, friends, this is just something that as a community, friends, wherever you live, if you live in America, if you live in another country, and you like your military, and if you have freedoms, friends, I mean, not all the countries have freedoms like America does. And even though I complain a tremendous amount about the country that I'm in, it's still the best country there ever was. It's sad because it could just be so much better if we didn't have all the evil running it. But friends, I told you I'm a spiritual man. So as I go down this spiritual journey and I learn and Jesus reveals things to me, well, friends, America's not in the Bible is what I'm trying to explain to y'all. So we better just enjoy it while we, the little bit that we got while we got it. Because it's going to get a lot darker and a lot more evil, everyone. That's what the Bible says. And the Christians are going to get the persecutions, kind of like I did in the workplace. But friends, like in Africa, the Christians are being murdered, genocided, rounded up, and executed, friends. It's horrible. But if you got a little cemetery in your neck of the woods, I mean a little one, this one's about 3 acres, 2.5. This thing's about as big as Bethlehem that I was at. Friends, you don't need any permission. I mean, it's nice if you can get it, but what is someone going to tell you? Don't go out there and clean veterans' headstones? Friends, that's a bunch of nonsense. If they say that to you, you give me a call immediately. You got my work number. Friends, this is just one of those tasks as a community that we have to do. I mean, the government is not going to come out here and spend money. They already spent the money buying the headstones. They're not going to come out here and maintain them unless you're buried at a national cemetery. But what our goal is, the Grizzly Army Ministries, what our task is this summer, we got our mission for this summer. And friends, next summer it'll be something else. It'll be a different project. Because by next summer, all these headstones will be clean and there will be no need to come out here to clean them. We'll have to come out here and do some weed whacking and pick up some trash. But the mission this summer is to clean every veteran's headstone in Hillsborough County, Florida. That's where I live. And I'm getting started, friends. I'm at a cemetery about 2 miles from my home right now. Because it's costing me a lot of gas. It's $110 a week just to fill the truck up, friends. That's 1 tank of gas, and I got to make it last a week. And friends, I'm not working right now because I got run out of the workplace for being a white Christian man, like I keep trying to explain to y'all. Friends, it was a $90,000 a year job I had to walk away from. Ain't that horrible? Drink water, please, everybody. Hydrate. But check it out, everybody. If God had not allowed that to happen to me, I'd be at work and I'd be miserable because I would be, friends, it was just a nightmare. These people hated the Christians. Believe it or not, they hate the veterans. The Department of Veteran Affairs hates the customers. Unless you're a part of the LGBT group, friends, then you get the red carpet rolled out for you. It's a nightmare, everybody. I can't make this up. When I was going through the hostilities, friends, it was the year 2022 into 2023. Bay Pines Veterans Hospital. I was your assistant chief of the voluntary service. And at the time, I used to say that was the best job I had in my life, friends. I got to kind of do what I'm doing now on a different level. I planned all the events on the campus. It's a hospital, friends, a big hospital. I planned y'all's Memorial Day event, 2023. I planned the Veterans Day event, 2022. The Bay Pines 90th. Friends, I was the man that was in charge because my boss put me in charge because he knew I liked doing these things. And at every one of my events, I had over, Veterans Day, we had about almost 3,000 people show up for that. Friends, I had the reenactors show up. I had the Suncoast Military Museum vehicle people show up with the Jeeps and the Humvees, friends. Because I love my soldiers, and I want to make sure when they come to the VA, if I have anything to say about it, they're going to feel welcomed and feel like their service meant something. But what I found out was a lot of the people in charge, and to a large extent, friends, they're still there. David Van Meter is now the director of the Bay Pines Veterans Hospital, and he was the girly man over at the Tampa VA that let all the diversity go on. Friends, the guy was in my medical records. I caught you, Mr. Van Meter. I don't know why that FOIA request. I think you probably got something to do with it. But friends, I did a FOIA request. I demanded to know every government employee that was in my medical records. And I still haven't gotten it back yet, friends. But go figure. We've been waiting on that Epstein list for how long? And we ain't ever going to see it, friends. So I guess what I'm trying to say long-winded here is, God is in control of everything. So we got to make a little bit of difference with what little bit of time we have here. And right now, that's me out in these cemeteries getting these headstones cleaned up. Because when people drive by and they see a man out here working, they're like, what the heck's that guy doing? And then they see what I'm doing and they're like, oh my goodness, like somebody still cares. And friends, I'm in a very unique position where I can come out here and do this. I know a lot of y'all are still struggling and you got the jobs. We got all these comments in here. Hold on, friends. I'll be right back. I got to get my cheaters. Hold on, I gotta find my cheaters. All right, work party, everybody bring it in. We're gonna break for chow. All right, y'all bring it in. Hey, you over there, bring it in. Hey, I know you want to clean the headstones all day long, but we gotta eat some chow. Bring it in over here, everybody. Friends, at my work party, I gotta bring it in for chow. So friends, I'm doing the headstones. That's kind of what I'm doing, you know. For now, the next project will be something else, veteran related, you know, something that nobody else is doing. Somebody's in Florida. Northport. Is that East Coast or West Coast? Friends, I'm sorry if these comments are a little old. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a veteran, ma'am. Who's that? It's me, Miss Painful Body. Oh, I know all about the painful bodies. I'm most certainly a veteran. I don't have my VA card. It's somewhere. Friends, I did 20 years in the Florida Army National Guard. I was never supposed to be a combat soldier, friends. I was supposed to do 6 years and get out. But George W. Bush lied to all of us and got us tricked in the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, friends, in 9/11. Don't get me started, please. So for literally 20 years of my life, I'm 46, 20 and a half years, I was either deployed or preparing to deploy. I got 4 deployments under my belt. 2 were in Afghanistan. That's true, friends. I was in Afghanistan, the forgotten war. But I get to relive it every night in my nightmares, everybody. And then I went to Kuwait for a year and supported the withdrawal when Obama and his husband, Big Mike, were getting us out of Iraq. And then I did another, 10 months in Germany. I worked for the Special Operations Command, Northwest Africa, friends. I was your Jock Watch NCO, the night shift. It was a boring job, but somebody had to do it. So, oh yeah, hey, tell your husband and your son, thank you from the Sergeant Major. I'm not a real Sergeant Major. I retired as an E7, but it's just funny with the skit, and it goes along with it. And I do have a Grizzly Army, and I have to have a Sergeant Major in charge. I can't have an E7 in charge of an Army. That just wouldn't be proper. Oh my goodness, how much does this pay? Let me think. Well, I got a $50 donation the other day at the Sefner Cemetery, so I guess it pays a little bit. My friend, this is ministry work. You got to put all your treasures up in heaven. I guess I could pay. I guess I could charge a family like $100 to clean their headstone. But what kind of ministry would that be? That would be like a shakedown, you know? Friends, I'm a 100% service-connected veteran. I'm a combat guy. I'm going on Social Security disability, friends. I got mental problems. Y'all know these things. Who else comes out here and does this for free? In cemeteries, friends. I mean, I think I'm alone out here, but you just never know, friends. I mean, this is a stinking cemetery. And I did have 3 demons reveal themselves to me last December, friends. That is true. Just go watch the video. It's on the channel somewhere. He does this for free. That's right. Social media allows me. Well, I hate to tell you, I'm not monetized. Miss Painful Body, I got 260-something subscribers. You need 500 to get monetization, to get the money. So believe it or not, Miss Payne, I don't get a cent for any of this. YouTube don't like me. I've lost 10 channels. I've had to rebuild them. I'm 100% service connected, and my wife still works. So it's a very, 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 very tight budget. I don't get one damn cent from YouTube. I got a free lunch from Mission Barbecue. That's going to help me out today. But I don't get paid no money to do this, man. I told you, I got the mental problems. That's why I'm going on the Social Security disability. What else we got in here? Oh, I appreciate it. How do I decide which ones to clean? Well, it's pretty easy. I look for the nastiest ones first. Friends, I'm sorry. I know these comments are probably, y'all probably don't even watch it anymore, but I'm trying to get to all of them. I'll go through a cemetery and I'll find I try to go for the white ones first, the ones that stand out the most. And these were pretty nasty earlier, and these 2 are already turning white. This one's going to take another week because you put the D2 on it, and then it really gets to work. I don't go by rank. I don't go by war. I don't do Confederate soldiers and skip over. I do them all, everybody. But like this man right here looks pretty good, so I'm not going to mess with him. Now this one over here, still working on it. We're going to hose it off in a minute. So we were out here with flags yesterday, so I got a good feel of where all the headstones are. And the front of the cemetery has the upright ones. There's like 2 more upright ones in the back that we got to clean, but all the rest of the cemetery are the ones on the ground. Now, if they look like this gentleman over here, I'm not going to mess with it. You know, that's pretty clean. But right now, I'm only doing the veterans. I would love to have volunteers. We can get them all cleaned up. But if a veteran's headstone looks like Miss Kelly there, we're definitely going to get it cleaned. It's about honor, you know. I know a lot of us don't understand that anymore because it hadn't been taught in a long, long time. Because, yeah, you would have to be crazy to come out here and do this for free. It makes sense why Miss Painful Body thinks that, you know, I get the monetization from social media. I don't do that, ma'am. I don't. Truly, I don't. You go look up the requirements to get a set out of YouTube, and I don't meet those requirements. Not yet. Not yet. You need 500 subscribers. And if you look on my channel, I only have like 260. But I love y'all. Thank you so much for subscribing. If I could ever get to the point that this paid money, I wouldn't use it as like a job. The money will go right back into the ministry. Friends, I got to show you something else. Look at these fresh graphics on this truck right here. I'm sorry if they're backwards. Turn this around. Friends, I had these donated to me. I paid like $200 for $800 worth of graphics on the truck. It's a ministry. And I'm sponsored by Mission Barbecue. But I don't get a cent, friends. I don't do this for the money. That would not be... Jesus would not look kindly if we were... Do I have permission to do this? Well, let me explain this to you, my friend. Are you going to come out here and tell me I can't do this? You come on out here and tell me I need to get on out of here. Let's see how that works out for you. I don't see you out here cleaning these headstones. And I gotta enlighten you on another thing. These headstones don't belong to the families. I know you don't know these things. The headstones belong to me and other taxpayers because they are funded by the federal government. That's right, friends. These are taxpayer-paid headstones. So the way I look at it, I'm out here cleaning my damn headstones. How dare you ask a question like that? Oh, goodness. These clowns, I told you. These people. Yeah, we're past noon. Now all the knuckleheads are rolling out of bed. All right, friends. Oh, I don't know. Look, friends, like I told you, you don't need no stinking permission to come out here and do these things. If I'm going to wait around for someone to give me permission, these things ain't ever going to get damn clean. I'm just going to get the job done, and then I'll beg for the forgiveness later. Friends, excuse me, I must eat my lunch. I'm sorry, friends. I can't be on the camera. It'd be unfair. I don't got a nice Mission Barbecue sandwich like I do. I'll be right back. I said take a break. Come on now. We got all week to clean them. It's a big sandwich. Friends, do you need permission to go pick up trash on the side of the county road? Are you going to go to jail for picking up some trash? So if you stop by friends, this is the community cemetery. It says it right on the sign. It's the Bloomingdale Community Co-Operative Cemetery. I'm sorry, friends, you're just a little too close. Friends, I haven't found one person that has a problem with what I'm doing. Unless you're un-American. You hate the veterans. A lot of these soldiers that are buried out here don't have any family any longer. And for the last time, these headstones don't belong to the families. They belong to me. Because I had to pay my taxes this past year. Hold on, I need to drink some water. So in a way, everybody, I'm kind of getting a return on our investment, you know. It's like if you buy a piece of military hardware for the Army, National Guard, and you just let it sit out there and rot. And somebody comes along and fixes it for you, and it's back to serviceable condition. That's a good thing, friends. Because we don't want all our tax dollars to be just rotting away out here in a cemetery, now do we? Here's another one for you, because I don't know if that comment was meant to be snarky, or you're really just trying to get the information. Do you know I can pull a FOIA request on every veteran that's in the cemetery? Did you know that? A Freedom of Information Act request. I can go to my local congressional office, and demand the DD-214 for every one of these veterans that are buried in here. Did y'all know that? Friends, when you join the military, the United States government, you literally kind of become property of the government. Y'all could do that to me, friends. Please, go pull up my DD-214. I'd love it. The scumbag on... Oh, my gosh, friends, I told you. Hey, friend, why don't you come on out here and I'll put your butt to work after I dress you down a little bit. What branch of the Army did you serve in? Any? Scumbag. Mr. Wait a minute, 72. That tells me you were born in 1972. You weren't creative enough to come up with a better name for your little spot to come on here and dress folks like me getting the job done down. Let me think here. No, never married. You probably still live with mommy somewhere. And you probably just got out of bed in the last 30 minutes or so. Is that about right? Am I pretty close? That's true, friend. I do. I'm 100% service connected. And I earned all my benefits because I had to go fight these endless perverted wars. That's how I got my free sandwich yesterday. The Mission Barbecue. Listen up, everybody. You get a bunch of these knuckleheads after the noon hours because they sleep in because they're up all night playing, I don't know, Pokemon or something. They're on Tinder or maybe they're on the Blue Sky. These liberals, friends, I can't believe it. But I do love it. Keep the comments going because the more comments we have, the algorithms, they don't really understand if they're a nasty comment or an ignorant comment, and they just keep it going. But stick around, my friend. We're going to clean some Confederate headstones here in a minute. I'm going to have to educate you on that. I'm certain you don't know what you don't know. We call folks like you the keyboard warriors. The keyboard warriors. Keep them coming, my friend. Keep them coming. I love them. But friends, again, for the last time, these headstones are property of the federal government. Any one of these veterans, you can go get a Freedom of Information Act request. And you can find out whatever the Freedom of Information request tells you. Hey, my friend that lives with mommy, I used to work for 2 congressmen. I know you probably don't know that. That's how I know how to do these things. And that's how I was able to sue the perverted and unqualified leadership at the Bay Pines Veterans Hospital. It's all true, my friend. They did not read the resume. Kirk Clausen and Francis Rooney, the Lizard Men. I worked for these men down there in Florida's Congressional District 19. I did 20 years in the military. I was deployed many times. I retired as a sergeant first class. Believe it or not, my friend, I got the combat action badge because I was in combat. It's all true. It's all true. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I like the nice comments. I like the mean ones, too. It gives me a chuckle. But SIG 285, if you're still messing around with the SIGs, I would highly recommend you go with a Glock. I'm a Glock man, personally. I had a couple SIGs, but that was before I think the DEI got a hold of them. Oh, my goodness. I believe it, 6 of them. Look, when you're in the military and you're in one of these high-tempo jobs that some of us picked, you get to go and you go and you go, and it takes a toll. So, ma'am, thank you for your service because you probably had to stick around the home front and raise the children and do all the birthday parties alone. I was very fortunate because we didn't have children until we were later on in our, I was in Germany in 2015 when our first child was born. But it broke my heart with all my other soldiers. They would, on these other deployments, they would miss birthdays and have to do the Skypes. It's a nightmare. That's why when knuckleheads come on here and call people like me scumbags, I get a good old chuckle because I know that man never served. I'm sorry, friends. I would offer you one, but they only gave me one. It was Army. Friends, go down to Mission Barbecue today. I think they're doing it all over the country. Hey, Miss Painful Body, today's Marine Day at the Mission Barbecue. I hope they got a Mission Barbecue near y'all. I think you said you were in Northport. I'm certain they do down here in Florida. Friends, I told you what we're doing spiritual. So you're gonna get a lot of people liking what we do, and then the darkness and these weak people. Friends, we gotta have mercy for these folks. Because when you get to a higher level of spirituality, you can separate these folks and the children that they are from the darkness that's manipulating them. Now, friends, I did some research on this cemetery last night. People were buried here in the 1800s, right here near Valrico, Florida, Lithia. But this place became official in, I think, the year 1900. It was a community cemetery. And they used to do advertisements to have people like me come out here and clean them up, knucklehead. But they don't do that anymore because nobody wants to come out and do these things. But this place is very, very well maintained, Miss Painful Body. I called the lady. Oh, believe it or not, friends, I do have permission to be out here because I called the lady a while back. She said, well, there's a man that mows it and does all the other stuff, but we don't mind if you go out there and do that. But the man that mows the place, he does a phenomenal job. He does the weed whacking. He picks up the trash. But it's up to volunteers like us to come out here and get the headstones clean. And I would love to get all the headstones. I just don't have the time. I got to go pick up the children here in a little while. Now, Miss Painful, I know you probably live near a VA and your husband probably goes to the VA. And I'm so sorry. I don't work there anymore, so I can't help them. I got nothing but problems at my VA here in Tampa. I've been waiting 3 years to get a dental cleaning. The community care. I've been waiting 2 years to get my new lowest bidder VA glasses. I had to go buy the cheaters at Walgreens. My doctor don't speak English, and now they got this new thing called the AI scribe. So you better let your husband know about the AI scribe. So when you go in your doctor, it's supposed to be private. You're not supposed to have, when I go see a doctor, it should be between me and the doctor. And if I say something, it's private. It don't need to be written down. It's going to go in your notes. But Miss Painful Body, there's a thing, and you need to check this out because it caught my attention last time I was there because I'm Mr. Attention to Detail. It's called the AI scribe. So when you're in front of the doctor, they hit a button and the computer records everything that you say. And it basically does the whole job for the doctor. It tells the doctor what to do. It does all the notes for the doctor. And here's my concern. It basically puts you on all the lists. I mean, if you say something like, well, I'm not really feeling well today, I'm going to go down to the gun range. Well, friends, you're going to be on the flag, and then you're going to have the suicide prevention people calling you. Well, Miss Painful Body, I didn't tell you. At the VA, I was a peer support specialist. I worked in mental health, PTSD clinic. I worked in the substance abuse. I worked in the domiciliary. I wasn't a patient, you knucklehead. Where'd that guy go? Oh, my goodness. Did you get a lawyer? Did you hire a lawyer like I did? You need to get that lawyer. I think there's a statute of limitations. That's horrible. I was fired under the, well, I guess I was fired eventually. I had to walk away from my job as the assistant chief of voluntary service. And they replaced me with a gay black lady who didn't even interview. She was a direct hire, everybody. They were trying to get rid of me. But I didn't go nowhere. I mean, I don't work in the office anymore. But I became a whistleblower for Congress. They just hadn't called me yet, but I'm all signed up. Remember, I used to work for 2 congressmen. They were very interested in what was going on. And this was the last administration. I'm sure the knucklehead that was on here calling us scumbags for benefits, I'm sure that person's an Obama voter all day long. But I hired a lawyer, Miss Painful Body. The DeVito's law firm. Y'all check these people out. They're out in Texas. I got 9 charges on these people. I got 2 directors fired. Hey, when y'all log off here, y'all go type in Paul Russo. Oh, Paul Russo. That was my director for a little while. And I had to go out there and do some peaceful protesting. And the day that I went out there to do peaceful protesting, Paul Russo retired. It's all true, friends. It was like sometime in March. Type the man in. He had to get on out of there because he was running a sham of a hospital. It was the lowest rated hospital in the state of Florida. Bay Pines Veterans Hospital. Medicaid and Medicare. They started doing a survey of all the hospitals, and they started included the VA. Senator Rick Scott and Marco Rubio, who's our Secretary of State now, their offices were doing investigations into Paul Russo as my hostile work environment was going on. Miss Painful Body, they were in my medical records. They put me through an illegal investigation, all sworn under oath. And I figured, well, they wouldn't lie. I had the AFG Union come after me. Oh, it's so much fun. Go type in Tish Thomas. She was the president. She wrote effing white privilege on a post on Facebook in 2018, and nothing happened to the lady. I had to deal with this demon like every week in my office because I had a lady of color over 60 that just didn't work. She was dysfunctional. I tried everything to motivate this lady to do her job. She just didn't want to do her job. She'd go home early. She'd come in late. And she never liked helping the veterans. And that really didn't sit too well with me. So I had to write the lady up after like 4 or 5 verbals. And then I had to do the paperwork. And then that American Federation of Government Employees, they came down on me hard. But they're not collecting dues anymore because the Trumpster got rid of them. For now, they'll be back. So Miss Painful Body, I completely understand. These people, they hate us because we care about the veterans. And most likely you probably weren't down with all the LGBT, all the safe spaces, all that nonsense. Because it basically alienated people like me and your husband, the combat soldiers. Because we don't care what you do in the bedroom, but that better stay in the bedroom. If you're coming on the mission, I don't need to see no pride flags on your rucksack. It was a nightmare. I mean, again, it was like the best job I had until this job. But it was all in God's plan. Now, Miss Painful Body, I'm certainly hopeful that you're a Christian and a believer. And if we read the Bible, it talks, let me think here. It's in the New Testament. It's right before Jesus was crucified. It was in John 15, somewhere around in there. I'm sorry, friends, I have memory problems. But Jesus basically said that we are slaves to Jesus. Not like, whoosh, whoosh. Like Jesus is the master and we're going to do what the master says. That's kind of my MO. I try to obey Jesus all day long. So friends, if they hated the master before they hated us, of course they're going to hate us. They hated God. They hate Jesus. So they're going to put us through that hostility. And that's exactly what happened to me. I can't explain it, friends. I never thought in a million years I'd be wrapped up in a lawsuit with the government. But Miss Painful Body, one thing I didn't explain to you was Jesus removed my alcohol addiction. Literally right before my lawsuit started. It was amazing. So profound. I got on my hands and knees and I begged him to remove it because being a good soldier, a horrible drunk, a combat guy, we just kind of goes hand in hand. Look, friends, we prayed for discernment, and now they're already heading back to the firehouse. So that's a prayer answered. Because if it was an accident or a fatality, they'd be out there for a little longer than the little time they were. All right, friends, I got like another hour and a half, and I got to go get the children. Hey, look, man, go to my website. I got 2 of them. Go to sergeantgrizzlegrits.com. That was my protest website when I was out there protesting these people. It was so much fun. And go to grizzlyarmy.com. You got to subscribe. I mean, you worked at the VA. You were subjected to the same type of hostilities. I just pray that you hired a lawyer and sued these people. I got 9 charges on them. I got so many people removed out of the government from what I did. I'm just waiting on the payday now. So for that goofball making those horrible scumbag comments, oh yeah, my friend, yeah, I'm going to be on the disability. I'm going on Social Security disability. And sometime soon, I'm going to have like $300,000 in my checking account for the ministry because that's what the lawsuit's going to be. The highest you can get is $300,000 out of one of these because knuckleheads like you want to go out there and behave the way you do in leadership roles, and then you get everybody in trouble. All right, friends, let's go find another headstone we didn't get no permission to clean, and let's go see if someone will come out here and tell us to stop. All right, work party, break's over, ceasefire, time to get back to work. Friends, it's a beautiful day. It's overcast. It's nice. But we're going to get to work. So we just debuted this one earlier, and it's ready to be hosed off. So let's take a peek. This thing's been on there a while. Oh my goodness. Hold on here. There we are. All right, we're gonna hose her down. A little scrubbing. Oh yeah. Hey, knucklehead, I didn't get no permission to do this. So I want to show you something. Look at this. I didn't get no permission to do this. No permission. Will you give me permission to come out here and clean the headstones? Well, that means you got to leave the basement, my friend. You got to leave mommy's house. All right, here we are. Look how nice. See, a lot of the dirt gets in the engraving, so it's just good to clean it all out. See, everybody, the devil don't like acts of kindness like this, because a family may come out here. I'll put it to you this way. Hold on, let's go find another one. We gotta move. Well, actually, I think I need a little more water. So everybody, I was at Seffner Cemetery putting flags out on Sunday after church. And a man he lived in Parrish, Florida. And that's like an hour and change away from where we're at. And he told me that the man, he's a detective with the Manatee Sheriff's Department. He's a detective. And he's got family buried up here in Tampa, in Seffner, at the cemetery. And he saw one of our videos that we did. Hang on here. And then he got to meet me out there because I was out putting flags. Friends, you must bring your own water when you come out here. What kind of scumbag I am. Hold on, friends. But the man, him and I talked for like 20 minutes. He was just so overjoyed that somebody was out here doing it, because these cemeteries don't need permission per se, and a lot of them, because nobody owns them. This cemetery has a board member, a association, and they already know who I am. So yeah, I do have permission to be out here, you knucklehead. But some of these places are like derelicts. Hold on. Situated here. Friends, a lot of the places I go to, no pun intended, they're considered dead properties. Not because there's a bunch of dead people. Nobody owns them. You can't build on them. You can't collect taxes on them. The county, the state, the government don't want them. What do you do with a cemetery with a bunch of bodies out here? You can't really do much with it. So a lot of times they just fall in a state of disrepair. And it's truly sad. All right, we're just gonna give this one a good cleaning. But the man, he gave me like $50 donation. And then he said his mother and the family were gonna start donating, because now they know who to donate to. It's like they know somebody's already getting the job done. Yeah. So no, I don't do that for money. I don't get monetized. I do it because there ain't nobody else to do it. And again, I need something to do while I'm waiting on my lawsuit. I don't just go on people's channels and write nasty messages and comments. That's not what I do. All right, friends, enough of that guy. I'm sure he's gone. Let's go ahead and clean. You got to get in here, a lot of dirt. So we use the D2 on this one. Now, friends, y'all know what this is. We're learning, right? Is this American soldier, or is this person a traitor? That's right. That's an American soldier. On here. Yeah. I got on welfare. Look, I don't judge nobody. You know, we all got to learn to be kind, because, friends, let me just explain to you what I learned through my encounter with the government and suing them. They hate that guy just as much as they hate us. They hate the LGBT. They just use them. They use the LGBT, the transgender. They use these people to push an agenda that would literally start eroding our society from the inside. I don't know what that guy's problem was. That's fine, you know? I just like to have a little fun with people. But we got to learn to get along, is what I'm trying to explain to you. Because you can do 6 deployments like Miss Painful Body's husband, or 4 like me and work for the government, and they're still going to treat you like garbage. But see, there's a difference between being on benefits and being on entitlements. Because what Miss Painful Body's husband and what I've done is an entitlement. We fulfilled our end of the contract. We deployed, we served the military. And the other side of that is the government has to take care of us when we're not able to work a normal job, or we have limitations because of service-connected injuries. But you're right, ma'am. Those type of people will never understand those things. All right, y'all see how it's already kind of turning like it's turning the rust color. It's pulling the algae out of the stone. And yes, friends, this is a Confederate soldier right here. So we're not going to put an American flag. We got the nice Confederate flag. George W. Smith. You find you a good brush so you can get into all the engraving. Work it in. All right. So we'll hose off all this excess garbage. And then we'll put a little more D2 for it to sit. All right, so we'll just coat it a little more. Get it in there real good, let it fizz it up. And then we'll let it simmer for a while. And this thing should be really clean here in a couple of days. Again, friends, we're using D2 biological solution. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Somebody's pulling in here. Maybe I should go ask them for some permission. All right, friends, check it out. So we got the little flags. Oh, stick it right there. All right, so we're gonna let that one simmer for a little bit. So this one looks pretty good. That one don't look too bad. I got a few more Confederate soldiers. Now I cleaned these like a month, but I didn't use D2. I didn't have it yet. Hold on here. Okay. Oops. So we'll hit up Hendrix with the D2. So I cleaned this one, I don't know, about a month ago. And check it out on the back. There's the Southern Cross of Honor. And we restored this one. We did it without any permission. We sanded it down, we primered it, and then we painted it. Isn't that nice? Now that thing will be preserved for another 25 years. That's a grave marker for the Confederate soldiers. So friends, without any permission, I'm gonna hose this thing down without nobody's permission other than the Lord's. Because the Lord commands us to do acts of kindness. Hold on here. So again, you want to get the stone nice and wet. It opens up the pores. Look, friends, with nobody's permission given, we're going to put some D2 on it. Oh yeah, I love the D2. Not that one, that one's broke. Again, friends, D2, I get it in the 5 gallons. I put it in these little bottles. I don't dilute it. I don't water it down. It's safe for all these type of stones. It's what the government uses. And it's the only thing I use. Well, I'll use granite gold on some of the other ones. But for these white ones, we got to use the D2, because it'll really whiten it up here. So here in a moment, you'll see this start turning the rust color. What you're doing is you're working it into the pores, and then over the next 15 minutes, it'll start killing the algae and the mold. But without anybody's permission. Kind of get the size if you can get it without getting in the dirt. Look, it's already starting to turn that rust, so that's the D2's working. You don't need a lot of D2. Oh, this one's gonna look real nice. Oh. Friends, I sold my Harley Street Glide like 4 years ago. I used to ride around in the motorcycle club. Sometimes I miss it. Very dangerous though. There's a guy buried over there in the cemetery that I used to know in one of the clubs I was in. The Nam Knights, friends. Friends, I never joined the 1%ers. It was always like the veteran cop clubs. The Nam Knights, the Desert Knights. But that man was killed on his Harley in 2014. I remember it was horrible. I realized it, but he's buried over there. Because I had left the club. I didn't really know all the details. Yeah, look at this. It's turning rust because it's killing all the algae in the engraving. Now, when I found this thing a month ago, it was completely green. So I scrubbed it with soap and water. I didn't have the D2 at that point. All right, so now this is the man's wife. So even she got a mark. Look, another way that y'all can tell is Confederate soldiers and their family. The headstones have like a house, like a house point, you know, like a roof. And the other soldiers have just the oval. But we'll get some D2 on her, and she will look real nice. But without any permission, friends, we're just going to go ahead and get this done. See, friends, there's a difference between being a keyboard warrior and being a man. A man's going to come out here and get the job. Somebody like that's just going to complain because they don't like to get no jobs done. That's okay. I have a lot of fun with people like that. So I had to work with y'all. It was horrible. Friends, that's literally why they came up with the DEI, is to get people like that promoted, because in a real normal world, they could never get ahead with that type of attitude. Oh yeah, look how clean this is coming. Friends, the gay black lady that they replaced me with, she was a direct hire. Her name's Chanel Kelly. Friends, remember, I had 3,000 people at my events that I ran them. And in the news, they said that there was 200 people at her event. 3,000 versus 200. She's not a veteran either. She's a diversity hire, and that's what she gets. See, look, everyone, it's starting to turn that nice rust color. That's the D2 biological solution doing its thing. All right, we'll come back to these two. We got another Confederate soldier over here. And then, friends, we're going to put the flags. We got to put the flags. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. I'm just getting your comments. Well, it's a shame. It's a shame that the government is as bad as it is, you know. I mean, I voted for the Trumpster 3 times, and we're in another war, and I'm paying almost $5 in gas. So again, nothing changes. All right. So I got another private over here, another soldier. I'm gonna get the weeds out of the way. Trying to get all the dirt out. Again, friends, with nobody's permission, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this Confederate soldier's headstone. Is that okay with y'all? If you got a problem with it, put it in the chat, please. I'm gonna have a word with you. You can give it a good scrubbing. This one don't look too bad, but this will clean up the grade and get all the dirt and mold out. See, it's already starting to turn to rough. The D2 is pretty cool. And this stone doesn't look like complete white. It looks like it has marble in it, you know, the black. So we're going to wait on that one for a little bit. All right, y'all hang tight. We're going to move. There's another one over here. So we're going to let the D2 do what the D2 does. We're going to go over here and scrub these other ones. Let's see here. Yeah, I got about one more hour. I would like to get this whole up row section done. Can y'all see that? Okay. So I got the veterans right here, and then the spouse is right next to the veteran. So we're going to clean both of them. Because a soldier can't do what a soldier does without the spouse. We know that, don't we, Miss Baker? Y'all come take a look how nasty this is. We're gonna do the before and after. Without anybody's permission, it's nice and clean. If I had to wait for permission, this thing would never get clean. You get dirtier and dirtier. All right, check it out. Look how nasty this is. So this is the soldiers' World War I Department of Medical. So there's the soldier. That was Corporal Cox, Horace M. Cox, Florida Medical Department, World War I. That's an old one there. And this is his lovely spouse. So we're going to get Miss Cox on school without. Hey, can somebody give me permission, please? I don't want to get in no trouble for doing the right thing. Somebody say, we give you permission to clean the headstones. All right. Got the dude. Now, this is going to be easy work here. This is going to be real easy. So I got these two older ladies walking the property. It's almost like I hope they're a part of the association. I'd love to go talk to them again. I talked to one lady on the phone back in January. Now this has a lot of lichen on it, but it should come right off. All right, you want it real wet. Without anybody's permission, I'm gonna get Miss Cox all cleaned up. Because I'm certain there ain't nobody around to give permission to clean this. Because this lady passed away in 1984. And obviously the family hadn't been out here getting jobs done for whatever reason. Ugh. Yeah, this is one of the real nasty ones. Without getting any permission. Just do it. Oh, my nice fishing shirt. This one's going to be a good reveal. A lot of mold and lichen. Lichen's the little moss that grows on these things. But it's coming off pretty easy. All right, everybody. Fun part. That's the fun part. But without any permission given, we're just going to get it done. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Stop that. What do you think you're doing? We didn't give you permission to clean that. I know you did. It's called initiative. It's called taking initiative. I told you I was a senior non-commissioned officer, so I don't really need your damn permission. I'm just going to get the job done. That's what initiative looks like, my friends. That's what initiative looks like. we're looking pretty good over here. Oh, y'all remember what it's like, right? This nasty black mold. There we are. And there's the flag that we placed there yesterday. Whew. All right, let's go back over here and check on my Confederate soldier. See, that D2's cleaning up all the algae there. Oh, yeah, I got permission. Thank you so much. I tell you, these knuckleheads, they just want to ruin the good times, you know? They just want to bring us down to their level. But we can't do that because we're soldiers. And even spouses. I mean, we're soldiers in the Grizzly Army. Alright, let's see if we can work on this one a little more. This one's going to take like a couple weeks, I think. But the beauty is the D2 biological solution. Once it gets in the pores, it continues to work. It continues to whiten and whiten and whiten. It dries on it, but it stays in the pores. In a week, this thing will be white. Because I've had headstones that look like this when I left. I came back in a week and I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way it works that good. But it does. I mean, this is like 60, 70 years of this crap just baked into the pores. So we clean the soldiers, and if the wives are buried next to them and they look bad, we clean them too. It's the right thing to do, isn't it? So yeah, we'll hose it down one more time, and then we'll let the D2 do its thing over the next couple weeks. It's not always instant. Sometimes it comes right off, sometimes it takes a little while. But Miss Painful Body, if you need a lawyer for your little situation, I don't know how long ago that's been, but my lawyer is Shane Robertson. He's with the DeVados law firm. They're out of Texas. And all they do is federal. And trust me, they were really, really busy the last administration. I was like one of the last, hold on, let me get the shot. I was like one of the last equal opportunity hostile work environment lawsuits. They just started sending them out. There's too many of them. But I was like the last one to go through, and it's been a nightmare. It's been going on for 2.5 years now. But nobody in my lawsuit, not one person that did all the evil to me, not one of them works for me anymore. So it's a victory. It's just got to go through all the judge. It's been at the judge's inbox for a year and a half now. I guess they just want to take their time. It's a shame, though. My family could really use the money, you know? Again, I don't get paid a cent to do any of this. YouTube, I don't get monetized. I'm not there yet. Maybe someday, but I don't do it for that. I do it to meet people like you and other like-minded individuals that are discouraged, that have gone through this evil. I just found a kind of a productive way to handle my stress. I begged Jesus to get me sober, and then he helped create a ministry for me, and that's what I'm doing. I'm out here doing the ministry work. I had 2 youths on Sunday. I got to mentor to them for like 2 hours. They're helping me put flags out. Did y'all hear that? think there's a woodpecker out here. So I get to hang out with people, like-minded people, even non-like-minded people. Just pray for them. I get to hang out with the youth. I'm doing a youth summer program next summer. I'm just not ready this summer. I'm still in the building phase. All right. Let's go hose this gentleman off over here. So next summer, maybe the lawsuit will be done. And whenever it is, I'm actually buying, for the ministry, I'm going to purchase a couple Humvees, you know, like up Humvees like we had in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'm going to have the youth, you know, it'll all be legit. You know, we'll have insurance, we'll have proper training for all the volunteers. But I'm going to have the youth rolling around in the Humvees with us out here doing the cemetery work. It's going to be the coolest thing. So these young boys, you know, they were Christians, but they had never been able to do something like this. And I told them, I said, you don't need nobody, listen, you don't need nobody's permission to come out here and do this. I said, if you want to come out to the cemetery and pick up trash, you just get your there and do it. But I said, you better have your parents' permission. They got to know where you're at. But these young boys, they're getting hooked on this stuff. They haven't cleaned the headstones yet. That'll be maybe this weekend with their parents' permission. And I want mom and dad out there too. I want to show them how to do it. But listen, everybody, the goal here, friends, I can't do this forever. I'm a scumbag on disability and benefits. I got to go back to my Call of Duty at some point. But all kidding aside, friends, if I can get young people interested in doing this, then these projects don't fall into the state of disrepair that they've fallen into. If I can get a bunch of youths in the area organized, I'm not saying like the Boy Scouts, just normal kids. The other day, when they become young men, they're going to want to come out here. And then when they have families, they're going to bring their children out here. That's kind of what it's about. I'm kind of showing y'all. I'm kind of leading y'all. That's kind of what the whole purpose of this is. And I need to get all these cemeteries to a good baseline. That way they don't ever look like this again. So we come out here a couple times a year and do a little maintenance, and then they always look nice. All right, let's do this. I got to go let's go find another one. Not another one. Oh. But listen, everybody, this is some dirty work. It ain't for no girly men like our friend. It ain't for the keyboard warriors. Y'all will not last 5 minutes out here. And Jesus don't like complainers, and I don't tolerate complainers. So y'all just stay at home and make the comments. Let's go, everybody. Soldiers squared away. We got Mr. and Miss Cox. Yeah, ain't that cool? That thing was completely black. Now, I know there's a few more of the tall headstones over here. Let's go find them. That's, you know, I just kind of look around. I find, like, that one don't look bad. And remember, I put flags out on all of them. So they should be pretty easy to locate. That's a bronze one. That one don't need to be cleaned. The bronze ones, actually, the mold don't, they don't ever deteriorate. I don't know what kind of metal that is. Maybe bronze. That one don't look bad. There was one over here that needed to be cleaned. Yeah, this one over here. Remember, we had to cut the bushes back yesterday. This one needs to be cleaned. Yeah. This guy's like way off in the bushes. We couldn't even see him yesterday. I barely saw him. See, it has all the dirt and just years of grime in the engraving. try to lift some of that out. This one's definitely going to be the D2. This one right here is one of the ones that should turn completely white when we're done with it. Just remove the flag that I placed out here yesterday. See, this one's going to take like a week with the D2 because I could tell it's really deep in it. You want to get into the engraving, that way the D2, look at it, see all the black coming out? It's literally turning all that algae, it's killing it, lifting it up. Yeah, this one's going to take a while. I did one like this at Seffner like a month ago, and it was worse than this. And I came back in like a week, and it was completely white. Like, you had to put your sunglasses on white. Oops. Whew. All right, I know there's another tall one around here. Let's find that one. But we'll let this one simmer. We'll put our flag back we put out yesterday. Whew. I appreciate some of y'all that have been sticking around. I mean, I know we're just kind of cruising around a cemetery here, but I guess it's fun, right? Oh yeah. Hey, it was good chatting with you. Be groovy now. We'll see you some other time. Whew. All right, this one don't look bad. Here we are. I knew there was a few over here that needed to be cleaned. Like this one right here. This one will be real nice looking. Oh, that's the mom. Well, friends, you know the rules. Mom gets clean too, or the wife. Oh. Get it nice and soaked. Get the D2 biological solution. Do a little scrubbing. come nice. A little more, we'll rub it in and let it soak. This one's stained pretty bad. All right. Whoa. Okay, I think there was a few more that needed the cleaning that looked like that. All right, friends, let's keep moving. We got a little longer, but then we do got to scram. I got things I need to do today. Oh, here's a cool one here. Oh, yeah. So, friends, this is actually what one of these headstones looks like out of the ground. Can y'all see that? So these white headstones that we've been cleaning all day, this is actually what they look like. They're about 4 feet tall, 3.5 feet. The dirt out of it. Carl Ray Davis, Coast Guard. So this one's not going to be completely white. Y'all see the granite has the designs in it and the grain. But we'll do the best job we can on it. I think this one will look real good. This one will work real nice. Yep. Yeah, this one's not a complete white one, but it'll whiten it up. D2, friends, that's what we use. The D2 is what you're supposed to use. See, it's already starting to turn the rust, so it's getting the algae out, the mold. All right, we got the engraving pretty good, so we'll let it sit for 15-20 minutes. Friends, I got 2 ladies in the car over there. Ladies, if y'all are watching the live stream, come over and chat. I'd love to talk to you. I know you saw the graphics on the truck. I'm sure you looked me up by now. Oh my goodness, friends. We're just cleaning some headstones because it just hadn't been done ever. Oh. Okay, friends, let's mosey. We're going to let him simmer for a little while. We got the one over there simmering. Let's just go walk in this area. My goal today is to get this area done. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to walk back to truck, everybody. I need to get some water. Uh-oh, hold on here. I feel like I'm back in the Army with all this gear on. Good grief. All right, these look good. See, friends, these look good, but they don't need to be cleaned. we're looking for the flags because that's where the I put the flags out yesterday. Now I know where all the headstones are. See, those look nice. If they need to be cleaned, usually you can spot them a ways away because they got like the black on top. And that's what we're doing right here, cleaning. Like right here, we got to get this gentleman squared away. If we clean these now, they won't need to be cleaned for another 20 years. We're using the D2 biological solution. It's what we're supposed to use. It's what Arlington uses. Mr. Edmund Frank Anderson. So we're going to remove the flag that we placed out yesterday. All right. Give them a little spray of the D2, not too much. This one don't need too much work. But it'll lift all the dirt and mold out of the engravings. Ladies, don't be afraid. I'm a resident. I live right down the road. I don't have any family out here, but I'm out here cleaning all the headstones. Friends, I think the two ladies are watching the live stream from their car right over there. I know I would be. It's hot out here. But we came out yesterday. We put all the flags out. I've already talked to the association board back in January. They know who I am. They kind of know what I do. But our task is to put flags and clean all the headstones in Hillsborough County. I'm short on funds this week because of the Iran war made my other gas prices. I don't got the money to drive out to Bethlehem, so I'm going to get the job done here. Oh yeah. Don't that look nice? Edmund Frank Anderson, U.S. Army, World War II. So he just takes that little bit of attention, and then the headstones can be clean for like literally another 20 years or so. All right, we're gonna walk back to the truck. I think we're almost done for the day. Let's see, there's another one over there. I think that one looks okay. Look, friends, these ladies are watching my live stream. Ladies, please, I'm a nice man. I'm a weirdo in a cemetery. I'm literally working. All right. Well, they've been on their phones looking down at it, friends. I told you, God bless me with discernment. All right, this one needs a little cleaning over here. That's how I knew you knucklehead making them comments. I knew you're born in 1972. Because people like you aren't that bright. So when you create your little channel, you don't have no creativity. So you just come up with like your birth date. That's okay, friend. We forgive you. Ooh, I got a sergeant first class. Ooh, World War I. Look, we're going to get all the debris out of the engraving. Oh. Give them a little spray. Not too much. Oh, I took the flag from the other one. That's okay. I got other ones to put it on. Oh, we'll give it a little scrubbing. Yeah, it's coming right off. Get all the engraving cleaned up. Hey! How you doing there? Pretty good, pretty good. Are y'all part of the association? I thought somebody had to change it. I do separate stuff. I got a ministry doing a live stream right now. I'm trying to get people interested in being veterans and things, doing some community service. I'm not out here to try to do it with that, but I put all the flags out yesterday. All the veterans. I had loads of flags. I live right behind Bloomingdale High School. I'm out of breath. I've had to work. I'm a soldier for 3 years. That should on there, take a trip today or tomorrow. It's got a nice, they call it Headstone. I went out there for today, making my small business. I had a weed whack my way in. There's a lot of vendors out there, so. Let me grab Oh, Lord Jesus. Friends, I'm so sorry about that. I was in a lot of trouble. Those ladies love what I was doing. Friends, I'm sorry about that. I had to do a little politics. Friends, I was right. Those ladies were watching me on the live stream, and they wanted to have a chat with me. And they are a part of the association, and they just couldn't get enough of what we were doing out here, you know? And then I told them about some other cemeteries we had done, and they're going to go out, I think, today and look at Stanford. They just can't believe it. All right, friends, that's going to do it for today. I got to get going. But look, friends, you just got to have a little vision. You know, you just got to have a little vision. You got to pray, and God will steer you to what your mission is. Friends, I learned a while ago, you have to pray that God remove all the evil as much as he can out of you. For me, it was the drinking and the anger. And God gives every one of us talents. I'm an art guy by nature. I have a really big heart, even for you knuckleheads. And I like to get to work, friends. I like to get out and get to work. So it's just natural that God steered me to these cemeteries. Because, friends, these cemeteries, even though there's a man that comes out here and mows it, I don't believe he's a veteran, you know? Maybe he don't have the time to clean the headstones, or maybe he just don't know. Friends, that's okay. Again, there's a job for everybody. There's a cemetery near you right now today that needs some veterans' headstones cleaned. And here's the best part, everybody. You start getting working on these in your local cemetery. And then when all the veterans are cleaned, then you start working on all the other ones. And then you create your little YouTube channel, and there you go, friends. And then you're off to the races. All right, look, friends, I got to scram. I got to go home and clean up. I got to hydrate, friends. Ugh, just so perched. So, friends, what did we learn today? We learned that we can't get discouraged by discouraging comments. We just got to reframe our thinking. And, friends, no good deed goes unpunished. And these ladies really were real happy that we're out here. So that's how the ministry grows, friends. That's how the army gets built. And I told you, like a year from now, I'm going to have like 30 of y'all out here. Because these ladies are going to spread the word. Friends, I'm so glad. I almost got the contract to mow this place. Friends, I called this lady back in January or December, and I was like, look, you know, I need some work. I got a ministry. I got a tractor, a weed whacker. Would you hire me to mow? And she goes, well, if you'd called us like a few days prior, we would have hired you. But we hired this other guy. Friends, if I had gotten the contract, that would have been nice. But then I wouldn't have been able to bounce to all the cemeteries and get all the headstones cleaned. Do you understand how amazing God is and how his grace works and his grace flows? One door shuts, doesn't even open, and then you get like 10 that open. So look, friends, I'm going to place the flag that I got on the tech sergeant over here, and we're going to log it off, friends. I got to go. Believe it or not, friends, I gotta do a brake job on my truck later. we got to do a brake job. Because those guys at the Jiffy Lube, they were trying to sell me brake pads. And they said, oh, your pads are failed. You got to get them. And I said, well, you know, I know y'all are always trying to upsell, but those things don't work on me. But I'll take it in consideration. But friends, I looked at the rotor, and I'm starting to get a groove in it. So that tells me I need new plates, or new pads. Friends, you hear that sound? Friends, there's my Black Hawk helicopter coming in to take me home. Rogo, I'm on the OP. We're on the OP, the PGK team. We got the Black Hawk coming in to take us back to Kandahar, friends. I told you, this is a grizzly army. Friends, I'm sorry some of y'all didn't live the life we did, but we literally traveled around Afghanistan in our little Black Hawk chariots. Friends, what is that? It's a blue one. Friends, I've never seen one like that before. It's interesting. All right, friends, we got to go. Y'all stay groovy, and I'll see you on the trail. Grizzle 6 out.